Today I bring you to Versailles, Indiana. As a matter of fact, I bring you to the courthouse of Versailles, Indiana. Yes, why do I bring you here? I got a little story to tell. Back in the 80s and 90s, what used to go on up here. Yeah, right here's the courthouse. And my poor puppy, let me swing the camera over. He has to walk on that side because no dogs are allowed on the grass on this side. So this is the Ripley County Courthouse. Let's get this video started. I am shooting this video all today on my GoPro 13, the G70. There's no need for it. Okay. Back in the 80s, I don't know exactly when this all started, but back, I believe it had to been 1980 sometime. People would drive up here and they would literally go around. Let me go up here. This is all a square. There's no stop signs. No stop signs, and they just follow it all the way around the square in their cars. And we're talking hundreds of them, guys. We're talking, and this would go on every weekend, and I used to be one of them. Yeah. Today, which I'm much older, if you ask me why in the hell we did this, I don't have an answer. But let me tell you some of the things we would do while we were up here besides just drive around. Imagine hundreds of cars bumper to bumper, one coming this way and the other one going that way, just driving around this courthouse for hours on end. Now, not everybody was driving around. All the parking spots up through here, they were all filled with parked cars. Because not only they would be driving around, they'd be hanging out the cars talking to friends. And that's what we would do. We would drive around this courthouse right yonder here. And we'll wave at people, say hi to them as we go by. Maybe whistle at a pretty girl. And yes, don't condemn me down in the comments, because back in the 80s and early 90s, some guys did whistle at girls. I know that's wrong to do today, obviously, but I was young and dumb. You know, or blow our horn, wave at our friends. But by the hundreds, and I mean by the hundreds, every single weekend, people would pile here to Versailles, this courthouse right behind me, and just drive around this square, because that's what we called it back then. What you doing tonight? Hey, let's go to the square. And that's what this was called. It's of the daytime, obviously. See how quiet it is? There's hardly no traffic here whatsoever. None. But let's go back some years ago. Let's go back to the 80s, early 90s. That wasn't the case then. Oh, Lord, no. By the hundreds, folks. And all we would do is just drive around, keep a slow pace, and wave at everybody and said hi to everybody as we pass by. You may have a very cool looking car back in them days. Or in my case, I come up here a lot on my motorcycle. You may hook up with some friends and you're like, hey, let's go see other friends, because everybody and their brother was up here. Everybody was. And yes, sometimes we would park, get outside the car. Now, what started happening, because it was becoming ridiculous. I mean, come on, think about it. You will have hundreds on hundreds of people up here in cars driving around this courthouse. Then all the parking spots will be filled, and on the other side of the street too now, with people just hanging out their car, talking to friends. It was anything bad going on. No crimes was committed. It's just a lot of people will come here and drive the square around this courthouse for hours on end. I'd love to know when it started. I don't know. Only thing I know is it was happening in the late 80s and it was happening in the 90s. I think I quit doing it in 93, and then they started capping down on it. Yes, they started making rules up here where you wasn't allowed out of your cars. Then they started making a rule, if you're going to smoke some cigarettes, you wouldn't allow smoking outside your car. Well, we all found ways around that. Then I think they finally stopped it. Now, I quit coming up here myself, you know, way before they stopped it. But yeah, this used to be what we call the square. Something else, isn't it? My gosh, how many years ago was that? I personally found this place, the square, you know, driving around in 1989. So 36 years ago, I found this place. It was the word of mouth. My friends told me about it. And we would come up here. Some of us would go that way, and the others would just go on the opposite side and go on that way. We would get up here right when it started getting dark and drive around this thing for hours. Hours on end, doing nothing but waving out the window, maybe every now and then a whistle. Maybe sometimes we'd pull over, talk to other people, maybe talk to some girls, and that's all we did. And we wasn't the only ones. Hundreds of us at the same time would have the same idea. Now, it has been said back in them days, the reason that happened, because back then we had nowhere else to go. I mean, I could always find a party in somebody's field, which I did that too. Yes, we would party, but this is the only thing that was left to do, was drive around this courthouse on the weekends. Yeah, let's go out to the road and just do this for hours. Now, I didn't know Angie at the time that I used to come up here and do this, but she was one of them that did it too. When I was headed up here, Angie and I was talking about the square. I knew she knew of the square, you know, for many years. So I asked her, I was like, have you ever done it? She's like, yeah, we done it. Yeah. She remembers doing it as well as I did. And you pretty much, you know, anybody in my age group, it doesn't matter where you lived either. It was from all counties. I mean, people would drive 20, 30 miles. I mean, shoot, you know how far I am from home right now? I mean, I'm not exactly home, it's just not down the street from me. Here comes my lovely wife and my doggie. No, I drove quite a ways, so did Angie, just to come up here to the square, to drive around. What do you remember about the square, hon?
You drove in circles and you stopped.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
Yeah. You come up here and did it too, didn't you?
Only for a year.
Only for a year? I did it for like maybe 3 years. Do you remember when they quit doing it? I know the cops will clap down and they started making rules, and eventually they stopped it altogether. It was getting ridiculous. I mean, now that I'm an adult, you have to think about that. It was very much ridiculous. A bunch of young people, yeah, teenagers did it, and young adults like myself will come up here. So here's that sign, no pets on lawn. There's actually another story about this courthouse I might do someday. It would be a long video, it may be an hour long, but it's about the Morgan Raiders. Yeah, believe me, that will be a long video if I ever decide to try to do some filming on that. Okay guys, I'm going to take over Kitt. Angie's going to get some pictures. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments down below. In your younger days, if you're my age, or even if you're not my age, is there a place that you would go and hang out when you was young? Here was one of the places, and we drove around this square for hours on end. Until next time, thanks for watching. Leave your comments down below. Don't forget to hit that like button. It puts me in a different racket for other people to see. Until next time, come on, let's get out of here. Thanks for watching.